Hi, I am Julian Aguilar from Harmony Schools. In this video, I will be explaining about my project-based learning project, or PBL, and the process of making it. I kept a daily journal of what I did every day for 10 days as my ELA component, which you can find on my PBL website. The link is in the description. While I waited for my supplies to arrive, I did research and gathered ideas for creating my virus model and writing my social studies component for my PBL project. Eventually, I finally got my supplies and began working on my virus model. The virus I was creating was the HIV virus. Here are my materials. The materials did not include a large styrofoam ball, which I planned for my model, so I went out and got one and I cut a 90-degree angle out of the ball and the square compartment. I got some paint and I painted the outside of the ball brown. This will serve as the lipid envelope. I painted the first layer of the ball blue. This will serve as the matrix. I then painted the rest of the inside yellow and the compartment green. The yellow represents the capsid. The green compartment represents the inside of the capsid. I added the RNA, integrase, protease, and reverse transcriptase to the virus, represented by beads. Outside of the cell, I used map pins to represent the receptor binding proteins. Here, I fixed my placements a little and I added the rest of the map pins to all the outside of the virus model. I then labeled each part of the model and added stands to stand it up. Here is the final product. The principle behind my project was to give my classmates a better understanding of the HIV virus and viruses in general. There is no math behind it, just science. Here are some driving questions I asked myself and answered to do my project. What are viruses? Viruses are non-living and they cannot reproduce without a host, which makes them use other organism cells as a host to reproduce. What do viruses do? Viruses inject their genes into the cell, replacing the cell's own, and causing the cell to read the virus's instructions and creating more viruses. The new viruses burst out of the cell and white blood cells must destroy any viruses with an inflammatory response. They may even have to kill any infected cells as well. What have viruses done? Viruses have been mankind's enemy for a long time. They have caused countless deaths and many epidemics, such as the Spanish flu. Mankind will always fight back, creating vaccines and cures, but eventually the viruses will get immune to them, creating an endless battle. You can read my more in-depth paper in my PBL website. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching Harmony Schools.